Is this the end when it comes to BYND, my friends? Spoiler alert, no, it is not. That's right, my friends, you heard that correct. I don't believe that BYND is finished yet. In fact, I think that BYND can go on a massive, massive parabolic rally, potentially running all the way upwards to the $20 levels. It is absolutely possible, and I'm going to be using some real life data to showcase with you guys some historical data from stocks that have ran just like BYND previously to showcase what I'm talking about. So without further ado, hit the thumbs up button if you guys agree with me, and hit the thumbs down button if you don't agree with me, right? Because I'm going to take a quick little vote as to see who's with me, who's bullish rather, and who's kind of bearish. So let's get into it. So when it comes to BYND, we first need to analyze what the hell's going on, right? Because always, in order to predict the future, we first need to analyze the past, right? We need to first understand what has caused this ticker to run so freaking massively. Now, the reason why it's been running so freakishly, freakishly bullishly, has been because of a mass media coverage of this ticker, right? That has led to a frenzy of individuals believing that this ticker is going to squeeze all the way upwards of the $100 levels. Okay, now why is that? Well, when we go over here and we take a look at the company's short interest, let's go to Ortex real quick. I'll pull up my Ortex for you guys. We'll go BYND. Very cool, very cool. BYND. All right, so right now, you see it shows that the stock has an 18% short interest, right? Now, this is the thing, is that this 18% short interest that you see, right, is really a lot more than that. Okay, it really is a lot more than that. Why is it a lot more than that? Because it doesn't account for naked shorts, doesn't account for synthetic shares, doesn't account for darker volume. However, when we see down over here, we do see that there's been a decrease of 74% in the short interest. There's been a 74% decrease in short interest. So what does this mean? That means that we saw a lot of shorts covering, and we've also seen the float of this ticker grow. So there has been a lot of share pumping from the individuals that were holding on to, whether it was the warrants or whether not the warrants, it was what's the word I'm looking for? I forgot the name for what they were holding, but they were holding these shares, right? And now they've dumped them into the markets. Okay, so we saw mass dilution, and this is what I warned you guys about, right? Now, this is the thing, is that the reality is that the stock still has a lot of hype. So if the news comes out right now, heading into November, what we're looking for in November is going to be how that shareholder meeting goes. If during the shareholder meeting, by any sort of ways or any way, shape, or form, they come out and they announce that, hey, everyone, we are going to go ahead and we're going to lower the number of shares which we're diluting, get ready for insanity. Get ready for insanity. Why? Because this is how short interest works, my friends. This is how short interest works. Short interest, without a catalyst, all that's going to happen is that the stock's going to keep getting bigger and 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 bigger. That's it. It's just going to grow and grow and grow and grow and grow. Think of it like this. This is an example I always like to give. Imagine there's a house and someone left the gas knob on. And the house is getting filled with gas, and it's getting filled with gas, and it's getting filled. Until someone comes over and flicks a switch or lights a cigarette or whatever, lights a lighter or whatever, then the house is going to explode. The house by itself is not going to explode just because of a gas leak. It needs that catalyst. It needs that trigger. It needs that spark. We saw the spark. Mass retail coverage. Everyone was buying it. Oh my God, buy it. Massive. Okay? On the other hand, this is the thing. This is what you need to understand. Is that right now, what we're going to get from here on out is we're going to see the gas knob leak again. We're going to see the place be filled with gas again from now till November. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see some downward selling. If we see some downward selling, maybe upwards, downwards, sideways, But once we get closer to that date, if they come up with the news of saying, hey, everyone, we're actually going to go ahead and we're not going to add as many shares as we said, this stock's ripping again. It's easily going to test this $7 to $8 range again. From $7 to $8 range, it can potentially squeeze all the way upwards of the $20 level. So let's talk about let's look at how AMC traded back in the day, okay? So I remember AMC, all right? Now the numbers I'm about to show you are they're split adjusted. So do remember that. They're split adjusted, so they're not really correct. You gotta divide them by 10 in order to actually get the real digit, because the company did have a 1-for-10 split since then. And this is how things went. So when is this? This is 2020. Okay, 2021. The stock ran from $1 to 11. Okay? Stock ran from $1 to 11. I remember because I bought it at $8.70. It was a long time ago. All right? Come on, don't judge me. Okay? And then it sold off. And when it sold off, I was smart enough to hold. But then it came back up to my exit to this like close to $8 levels, and I sold it. And I'm telling you right now, I regret doing this so much. Why? Because as it was moving sideways over here, so this was the initial pump. So right now, this would be the pump that we're seeing from BYND, right? 1 to 11. For BYND, it would be 50 cents to $8. Okay? Back down to, for this, it came down to $3. For BYND, it also came down to $3. Move sideways, go up a little bit. You see, go up to this level, come down, da, da, da. And then we saw the real short squeeze, my friends. We saw a short squeeze at a level that Robinhood had to go ahead and remove the buy button. Do you understand? Do you understand at the rate that we were going? The economy of United States, the broader markets were in danger. How would the broader markets be endangered because of AMC, Sam? How would that work? Well, this is what happens. A lot of these hedge funds were shorting AMC. Okay? Citadel, let's call them that. Citadel, this other one, that other one, all of them. Okay? Now, their only position isn't to short an AMC. So they're holding Tesla stock, they're holding Apple stock, they're holding Google, they're holding Meta, they're holding all these different stocks. Now, what happens when these companies end up, these entities, these institutions, hedge funds, okay, end up getting squeezed? Well, they get a margin call. Ding, 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 ding. Margin call. What is a margin call? Margin call means that all your positions need to be liquidated. So let's say this company is holding multiple $1 billion worth of Tesla, multiple $1 billion worth of Apple, multiple $1 billion worth of Google, multiple $1 billion of Meta, formerly Facebook. Now, when they have to sell everything because of AMC, they're going to dump $1 billion worth of shares of Meta, $1 billion worth of shares of Tesla, $1 billion worth of shares of Google. And that's one institution. These were multiple billion-dollar institutions. So that's how crazy things got. So if beyond is what people say it is, you know what, guys? I told you guys this before. You know, we took a bunch of trades on Beyond already. We made our money. I'm out of it. I'm not, when people ask me, oh, what do you think about Beyond? I don't even think about Beyond, bro. I don't think about Beyond. You know why? Because yesterday we went ahead. I'll show you guys, okay? This is our Discord, okay? It will give you access to our day trade alerts, swing alerts, option alerts, lesson, everything like that, right? So look, yesterday, this is what we did. We went ahead, we bought Beyond at 5.5 when it dipped down to 5, okay? Now the hours are a little bit weird because I am located in London, okay? But we went over here. Let's take a look at BYND. Let's go back. This was yesterday's market open. So we pretty much played this dip to perfection, okay? We bought it at 5.1. Mind you, our first entry was at 80 cents, okay? Then we closed our position, then we played it again. So we bought the dip at 5 and we closed it at 7.50. So if you look over here, this is what our alerts look like. We give it a ticker, we give it an entry, we give it an exit, we give it a stop loss. We'll also tell you how many shares to buy in a 10K account. We use a 10K account as a benchmark. So let's say you have a 50K account, you multiply this number by 5. Let's say you have a 100K account, you multiply this number by 10. Let's say you have a 5K account, you divide this number by 2. Simple and easy. We jumped in, bought at 550, closed the third at 6.8, and then the rest we closed at 7.6. Bang, we were done. Where was the top? Look at this. Where was the top of this move? 769 was the top of this move. Beautiful. Chef's kiss. And then we went out and bought SOUX yesterday at 43 bucks. 10 shares in a 10K account. Wonderful. This is our community. If you guys want to trade alongside us every single day, guys, get access to day trailers, swing alerts, option alerts, all the above, directly to your phone. Check it out. Right now, it's on a 50% sale for the next 10 members that check it out. Right now, the next 10 members that join, they get access to the community for a 50% sale. Why? Because we want to promote and we want to reward the action takers, not the procrastinators. And I'll tell you this, we already have over 400 members coming back month after month for a reason. What's the reason? Because I'm so funny and handsome and humble. No, I'm joking. That's not why. It's because they're making money, okay? Previously, we actually used to do a 7-day free trial, okay? Wilson says, hi, Sam. Thank you for all work on our community. My 7-day trial finished. It was great. I think you can afford a membership after this week. He brought 7K in 7 days. I'm like, bro, more like you can afford it for the next freaking decade, right? Now, listen. This was previously. We no longer do a 7-day free trial. You know what we do now? Now, we do a 2 weeks free trial and a 30 days money-back guarantee. David says, small win, but a win at the close, air in at 0.984 and out at $1. Bang. Great signal. This is the SOUX trade that I was talking about yesterday. 0.92 started scanner with 25. Wonderful. SCNX today, we made a killing on it. Now, we obviously didn't hold. What is SCNX at? Dude, we missed the boat on SCNX, guys. We closed it out at, we closed SCNX at 215. So, you know, we shorted SCNX. Not shorted. We bought SCNX at 83 cents and then we closed at 130, and right now it's at like it peaked at like 3. But you know what I always tell you guys, right? You're never gonna get at the bottom. You're never gonna get at the top. Thanks, Pro Trader. SCNX, baby. I missed some profits for selling too early, but green is green. That's Sam. Appreciate you, brother. We've been crushing it, man. We've been crushing it day in day out. Literally yesterday, Fred says, hey folks, my second trade with the team, 1,300 in less than an hour. Thanks. Wonderful. Beyond Meat, we made a killing on it. Look at this, 500%. Thank you, Pro Trader. I was holding from 80 cents. We bought this together at 80 cents. Our first alert was at 80 cents. She just never sold. Annie, $46,000 off of a single trade. Wonderful, man. Wonderful. Granny Slayer says, a couple of years ago, I was down in the trenches, absolutely beyond fucked. Made every single mistake you can name, and I wouldn't learn from it. Lost way more than I could afford, and I was so close to giving up. Decided to give it one last chance and find a mentors. Now I'm almost back to the green with the help of Sam and everyone else. Words can't describe it, but Sam, you helped me out more than you could know. Thank you so much. And all the other shot callers. The Robinhood account is my own doing. Really don't know what the fuck I was doing. The Moomoo account I started when joining this server. Truly lifesaver. So look, this is account before, 92% down. This is portfolio now, 70% up almost. Amazing, man, amazing. I mean, I'm so proud of what we built. I reached my first weekly milestone and more to come for sure. 1,200 in a single week. Give it a shot, my friends. Give it a shot. Listen, once again, 2 weeks free trial, 30 days money back guarantee. The next 10 members that join, 50% discount. You got this. Come on, take the shot. I appreciate you. Thank you for watching. Your boy Sam from Top Academy.